All right, so good morning, everybody. It's DeDe in the morning, along with Lady Jade and comedian JJ Williamson. So, all week long, we've been focusing on Small Business Week, right? That's what's going on this week. And as a matter of fact, this lady here is going to talk to us about small businesses and certainly small businesses with women. Women in particular. She's got a book out called No Thanks. 7 Ways to Say I'll Just Include Myself, the remix. Give it up for L. Michelle Smith.
Hey. Thank you for having me, DeDe and Lady Jade.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good.
All right. So let's talk first of all. You got this book, No Thanks. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, ma'am. So it's a guide to rockstar leadership for women in the workplace. But I want to tell you, it has guidance and coaching in there for people who are also entrepreneurs, because this mindset that we're talking about taking on is transformational and it's based on an entrepreneurial mindset. So if you have a small business, don't think that you need to pass up this book.
Okay, so let's talk about this because you give advice. And one of the things we can talk about is women in business. Now, what we found out recently in the last couple of years, African-American women were leading when it comes to opening businesses and everything else. What changes have you witnessed since the pandemic and going forward? What have you seen?
Since the pandemic, anecdotally, talking to my clients and also seeing what I see, I'm predicting there's going to be a surge in these 2020 numbers because so many women were forced back into the home, out of the job market, and, having to deal with kids. I had online school going right next door, my home studio, and having to figure out how to make ends meet. Yeah. And so many people started businesses.
So everybody, we're talking to L. Michelle Smith. She has a book called No Thanks, 7 Ways to Say I'll Just Include Myself, the remix. So let's talk about this, though. When you talk about women continuing to lead when it comes to opening businesses and you think about entrepreneurship, corporate America, what is that going to look like, too?
It's interesting because more and more you're seeing women who are already in the workplace opening businesses on the side. Now, you hear people call that side hustle. I like to say for high performing executive women who are over credentialed, we actually have more advanced degrees than any other group out there. That's also according to census data that we're overqualified to do what we need to do. And I call it extrapreneurship, right outside of that company, making sure you're compliant, following the rules, but running a business outside of what you're doing in corporate America. It does a few things. First of all, it is going to allow you to upskill and bring new capabilities to the job you're already doing. The other thing is going to diversify your income. We're talking about confidence builders here. This allows you to go back into that workplace and walk tall, knowing, sure enough, you've got money in the bank. So I'm not afraid of them calling me hard to work with.
What about the women that are listening today and maybe they're not entrepreneurs, but they want to move up in their job, you know what I mean? Or something like that, want a leadership role. How do they do that?
Absolutely. Well, first thing you got to do is have a tribe. And when I say a tribe, some people call it the kitchen cabinet or the personal board of directors. You need a tribe that's not only just there for you, but they need to be activated. A lot of people leave that part off, and they also need to be diversified. And I'm not just talking about skin color here. I'm talking about different industries, different ways of thinking, different ways of working, people who are more junior than you, people who are way more senior than you, but people who would actually engage. So you're going to have mentors, of course, people who will pour into you the skills that you need to know, the knowledge you need to know to get to the next place you're trying to go. Yeah. The next kind of person you need is a sponsor. That's somebody who would bang their fist on the table for you. Look around corners you can't. Be in rooms, say your name when you can't.
Before we let you go, because you have the book again, everybody, we're talking to L. Michelle Smith. She has the book, No Thanks, the remix. It's out now. You also, they say, are talking about Karens in this book. How you deal with Karens in the workplace?
Let me give you a little insight. There are 2 versions of the book. There's a first edition that came out in August of 2020. Second edition comes out May 10th. That's next week, next Monday. And it's called The Remix. It has 2 bonus chapters. And it has more coaching and insights and guidance and all. In one of those chapters, we take on research that I did, 100 professional Black women who shared with me what they liked and disliked about corporate America. One of the things they talked about was who was a hindrance and who was a help. And we did that by race. And I hate to say it, but there was a woman who emerged who was white, who's not very helpful to women of color in the workplace. We call her Karen.
Dang it.
So you have to pick up the book
You
to
know
find
what?
out where Karen comes from.
L. Michelle Smith, you should have named it Karen. Just name the book Karen. We would have been like, we know. Where can people find your book? Where can they find them?
Worldwide, go to Amazon.com for the remix. They're going to have it exclusively. If you want the first edition, you can get there anywhere online worldwide.
All right. And you also were telling me you have a podcast and everything else. How can people follow you online?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at L. Michelle Speaks on Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, and also TikTok. And you can find me on LinkedIn.com/N. They make it so hard, /L. Michelle Smith. And then, of course, lmichellesmith.com.
Listen, everybody, make sure you pick up the book, No Thanks, 7 Ways to Say. I'll just include myself, the remix, all of that. The release date, she says, coming up May 10th. Y'all give it up for this woman right here, L. Michelle Smith.
Thank y'all. Thank you, DeDe.
All right, thank you. It's DeDe in the morning.